if you're planning to start a TCG business in 2026, then this video will be very important for you. Why is that? Because you have so many places where you can start selling your products, but the question is, what is now the best location? So a lot of people make the decision, they start with a website of their own. That can be on Shopify, Wix. You can create your own website in WordPress with WooCommerce then and things like that. There are so many different possibilities. When you are just starting off and you have not at all any technical knowledge, then you are best off with a platform like Shopify or Wix. Yeah, do not forget, they take a cut, they take a piece of the pie. Yeah, their payment processing fees, they can add up. Usually it's around 1, 2, sometimes 3% that they will take. Then what are the other alternatives? Because yeah, setting up a Shopify or Wix or even a WooCommerce, that also takes a lot of time. Imagine that you just want to start it off and just start low key. Well, you have, of course, marketplaces. Yeah, then we are talking about eBay, Amazon, Card Market, Card Trader, and those kind of platforms. But the fees can add up extremely high, my friends, and that's something you need to take into account if you are willing to give a huge percentage of your margin to those parties. To give you an example, on eBay you are paying an average of 13 to 14% of your sale amount to eBay. On Amazon you are practically comparable, and you have also for eBay and Amazon, on top of that you have you can either take a subscription monthly basis or you can pay per advertisement that you put online or per sale that you do. So it adds up. If we now then compare with Card Market, okay, it has a good and a bad reputation, let's say. There are so many sellers on there. Competition is big. It is a European platform, so it is convenient for buyers. For sellers, you will be undercutted from left to right. That you need to take into account. And selling with a loss, nobody wants to do that. But it could be that you are not always be able to sell at a price that you are comfortable with. If you then now take a look at, okay, what are now the percentages that Card Market asks, you are looking at an average of 2 to 3%. Yeah, with that trustee service, of course, and that they take a small amount of them. So if you now compare with the other solutions that I already gave, Card Market has the lowest fees available. Now you also have a platform Card Trader. Card Trader is also, it's global, which makes it a little bit more easier to go and sell to people in America, Canada, you name it. But there are also some downsides, of course. The percentages, what they ask is comparable with Amazon and eBay, my friends. They also ask around 13%. And okay, yeah, you're now thinking, what about customs and things like that? If I need to ship that then to the US, oh, that's a shit show. Yes, it's a shit show, but they have a solution for that apparently at Card Trader. By the way, not sponsored at all, just sharing the information so that you get an understanding what is available on the market. Card Trader provides a service where you can send your cards once a week, for example, to a warehouse of them in Italy, and then they ship it from there to the United States or to the countries where the cards are being bought. Now, there is a twist to that, because the shipping costs, from my perspective, I'm from Belgium, the shipping costs from Belgium to Italy, that's coming out of my pocket, which is also a bit ridiculous. Imagine you sell 10 cards, 10 low cards of 5 to 10 cents, and you need to ship them over to Italy. The shipping costs will be what, 15 to 20 euros just to ship that shit over, and you're making a loss. So according to me, that's only interesting if you are a very big seller, if you have a nice turnover. But you are not obliged to sell to customers in the US or Canada, you name it. You can select the countries to which you want to sell, which is the same basically on Card Market. On Card Market, you can also select per country if you want to ship to them, yes or no, and if you want to only offer tracked shipping, or if you are comfortable with sending untracked letters, for example. Selling internationally, my friends, there are some things that you really need to take into account. Shipping to UK, you know, UK, okay, it's technically located in Europe, but they chose for Brexit, so that means you need to fill in additional documents. If you need to do that frequently, that takes a bit of your time, which is not ideal. To be honest, I don't start up such a shit show. I don't ship anything to the UK. Same counts for Switzerland. Switzerland is in the middle of Europe basically, but it's not part of Europe. And you also need to fill in extra documents and things like that. I don't do that. And I never ship anything outside the European Union. Yeah, I clearly mentioned European Union. So only the countries that have a cross-border arrangement with Belgium, with the European Union, which are basically part of the EU. Now, also, you are perhaps wondering, okay, how much do I need? What kind of starting capital do I need to start a business? Start small. Yeah, of course, you can start with 10,000 US 20, and you name it, you can start as big as you like, but you need to take into account a lot of people that are starting in TCG. They stay for what, 6 months, a year, 2 years perhaps, and then they're gone. So you need to take because if you're unexperienced, you need to think for yourself, am I going to do this long term? Will I like it? Yes or no? Because it will be a lot of work, especially if you now go and sell single cards, for example. It can be a lot of work. Imagine that you receive 50 orders. You need to pick those cards. You need to verify them. You need to make sure that they are shipped properly. You need to create the shipping labels. You need to take the letters to the mailing services and things like that. You got to follow up that the buyer confirms that they received it. You need to receive your payment and all that thing. That takes a lot of your time, a lot of time from your personal life, which a lot of people in the end don't really like, because contact with friends, your partner, things like that, which even with your children, it all has an effect. Take that into account. The best way that you could do is try to see if you can buy some bulk, quality bulk, by the way. If you are buying bulk from someone, make sure that it is near mint. Look to see, okay, what kind of interesting bulk would be suitable for you. One Piece, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, things like that. And try to see to get a good price and see, okay, for how much you could sell that card per card. Because usually when people are selling their bulk, they don't feel like going through the hassle of putting it on card market or verifying the quality and all that shit. If you take the time, you can make a good profit on that. But it will take some time, and you need to organize yourself, and you need to streamline your processes. If you want some more information on how we do that for our single cards, well, let me know down in the comments. Happy to share some information how we try to have a kind of an inventory system, how we are selling through multiple channels, because we are selling single cards through our own website, which is also a real pain in the ass, because we have a WooCommerce website and we need to create all the single cards individually. So that's also an entire process. If you're interested in how we do that, let me know. And we manage then all our inventory, so that we have an inventory for our website, for card market, and soon we are going to start up on eBay as well. And now I hear you thinking, but hey man, I thought you were not selling on card market yourself because you hate card market. I hate card market, yeah. I also hate Amazon, yeah. You also have a platform like Bol, but there you cannot sell single cards, and on Amazon you also cannot sell single cards. But yeah, we do sell on marketplaces. Why is that important these days? Because having a website of your own is not always visible for people. There are millions of websites out there, but a lot of websites do not get any visits because they are not known. And to get known, you need to do marketing, you need to do promotions, Google advertisements, Facebook ads and things like that, TikTok ads and things like that. That also costs money, yeah. We are trying to grow our business as much as possible organically, and sometimes when there are special occasions like Black Friday and all that crap, we do some promotions, yeah? But promotions cost money, my friends. But if you now use marketplaces, Amazon, Bol, you name it, yeah, people see your name. And that is also that's free marketing basically, because we had already a couple of times that people were buying from us through Bol marketplace, for example, and that they were satisfied with our services, and afterwards they found our website on their own, because we are not allowed to point them towards our website. They found our website afterwards on their own, and now they are just a customer through our own website. That's how sometimes things goes. And then afterwards, when you have more customers, it's mouth-to-mouth advertisements and your business will grow. But if you now think you have a golden egg because you think my website will outperform all the rest, not at all, my friends. There is so much competition out there, and the prices for the products that you are paying, sealed product or even the single cards, there will always, and trust me on that, there will always be someone else that is undercutting you. Yeah, some people are willing to sell at a loss just so you do not get the sale. That is how business works. Yeah. I also as well, I don't want to keep with inventory all the time. If I have shit that doesn't sell, I will fire sell it, yeah, not for a loss, but basically at purchasing price that I paid, that I'm trying to sell it off just to get rid of it, yeah, and then I'm undercutting you, for example. It's not always that people do that on purpose, but that is now how business works. If you want to get into TCG, it is a really hard world. You really especially need to look at, okay, Pokemon in 2025, Pokemon has done an evolution like crazy. There are not only players and collectors in Pokemon, but there are a lot of scalpers and investors as well. Pokemon has become a really big TCG suitable for investing. Yeah, people come into the hobby and they buy a ton of product and they sit on it. They simply sit on it, and in a few years they will come back to the market and they will say, I have so many booster box cases, yeah, now I'm making 10 times as much as I paid for it. Yeah, that is now the economy behind Pokemon, especially because Pokemon is coming into the news and some people are saying or claiming that, yeah, Pokemon is a better investment than the stock markets. Okay, we all take that with a grain of salt, but the people that don't know anything about trading cards, stock markets and things like that, they are going to think, oh, a quick buck and things like that. TCG, you need to be patient. Yeah, but think carefully what you want to achieve in 2026. Plan yourself and make sure you write everything down. You need to have a solid plan, because as I mentioned, competition is brutal. You need to know exactly what you want to do, and if you are starting off fresh like a green behind the ears, start with one TCG. Don't go starting with selling 5 different TCGs, because that will fail. Yeah, pick one TCG that you think is suitable for you, that you find interesting or things like that, or that you think that I can make a difference for that TCG, or I can have decent product for that TCG, and try to see that you can have then single cards or perhaps sealed product, you name it, and that you can see to start it off slowly. If you want to do that, then first of all, look at Card Market. As I mentioned, Card Market, the commission that Card Market is asking is one of the lowest of all. Setting up a website of your own will take a lot of time, resources and things like that, and you don't even know if you will keep doing this long term, yes or no. So register yourself on Card Market and request a seller account and try to put up some cards. Of course, people sometimes start selling off what they already have. If you're now a collector or a player and you say, okay, I want to sell off a part of my own collection and try to see, can I make some money out of it, and that I can reuse that to buy additional product and additional product, go ahead if you would like to do that. Go ahead, but nobody is forcing you to do it. That's why I say plan carefully what you want to do in 2026. See what kind of cards you would like to sell, and also sell them at the right time. You need to understand TCG and how it works. We are now in the cold days, so we are now in a bear market. Prices are slowly going back up again. Yeah, so that will now continue until approximately March, April. And then prices will slowly come down again, and then during the summer it is one of the lowest moments in the market, because people are on vacation, people are not busy so much with trading cards, and then slowly from October, well, basically November, it's the prices start increasing a little bit. Plan yourself carefully. If you now want to sell a part of your own collection, well, I think somewhere around this time, perhaps even after New Year's or in January then, or February, could be a good moment. Perhaps also go and check out some events, some trading fairs or things like that. Go visit, go see how sellers are doing that, what is popular, what is not popular. And if you want some other recommendations, not specifically linked to TCG, but okay, yeah, don't touch those fucking Labubus or Funko Pop, because that is just a big shit show. I burned myself on Funko. I never touched Labubu because it's a no-no, but yeah, you're gonna lose money. Yeah, I still have shit for more than 2,000 euros that I got that nobody wants. So it's not ideal, but you are perhaps entering in a volatile market where prices can go up quickly, but they can come down even more rapidly, making that you lose money. What people always say, don't use money you cannot miss. Yeah, if you have a savings account and you are saving now for to buy a house in 2 years, and you say, okay, I'm going to borrow 20,000 euros of that money and I'm going to make it back in 6 months, forget about it. Yeah, we both know that's not going to happen. You will tell yourself that in your head, but chances are slim to none that that will happen. How could you achieve such a thing? If you have, for example, distributor access, if you can now buy booster boxes at around 90 to 100 euros without taxes. Yeah, if you are going out and now buying Pokemon booster boxes at, let's say, 250 euros, you're opening them up, yeah, you will never have enough value. Unless if you pull now a big card, the top chase card of the set, then you could be lucky. But we all know how much chance you have in actually pulling such a card. And then you might say, but Siki, oh, come on. If I pull now an SIR, I will send it to PSA and I will have it graded and I will make a shitload of money. Okay, yes, my apologies, you are right. But you do know that the booster box that you bought for 250 euros, the card, let's say it's 500 euros, the chase card is 500 euros, yeah? You are sending it off to PSA, that will cost you money to send to PSA. You will need to wait, what, between 3 and 6 months for the card to come back. Then you need to hope that the value of the card doesn't come down, yeah? That it doesn't crash. And in the meanwhile, the card is gone. You don't have any money in return for that. You open the booster box of 250 euros, which is also an investment, and all the other cards are not worth 200 or something to cover the remaining of the funds which you invested. Yeah, that's why I'm saying Pokemon is not only buying product and then things like that, it is also investing and seeing if you can get your money back in some time. You will not get it back in 2 days. Yeah, don't think you are pulling a chase card and that you are sending it off to PSA. You have it back in 5 days and that you can sell it for 500 euros because that's at that moment the market price. It could be by the time you get your card back that perhaps the price is still 200 euros, and then you still made a lot because you paid the costs to grade it at PSA. Your booster box was 250 euros. So what, in the end, perhaps you made what, perhaps 150 euros? So think about that. The market is very, very brutal for you, and nobody will cut you some slack. Nobody. There are a lot of idiots out there, and there are a lot of scammers out there as well. If you're now on the lookout for bulk and things like that, make sure that you buy from trusted parties. I also tried buying bulk from that auction websites and things like that, and oh yeah, 4,000 bulk cards near mint. You get your cards. First of all, 3,200 cards, not 4,000. So I calculate my price per card, yeah? And I think, okay, I get 4,000 cards, things like that. I calculate the price, okay, that is suitable. I pay for that. I get my cards, 3,200 cards. Okay, then I start checking out the cards, and 80% was EX, not near mint. Then what do you think? You made a loss. Yes, and this is something that will happen a lot. I also bought previously a large bulk lot of, I think, around 10,000 cards or something like that, and there was like 30% was EX, no more, 40% EX. It is all a gamble. Yeah, it is all a gamble, and then you also need to have some luck that they didn't fill up certain boxes with some energy cards or code cards. Because are you really checking all those boxes? They can send you what they want, and sometimes those auction platforms say, hey, you received it, it says advertised, case closed. And so, oh, fuckers, you know, really. So be careful out there, especially be patient. Yeah, in TCG everybody has FOMO, fear of missing out. But if you are not patient, if you are going to have that FOMO, you're going to get burned. You're going to lose money. You're going to have bad transactions. You're going to have transactions where you pay and you don't receive anything. Yeah? Because you are entering into a FOMO. Or perhaps you are buying something on a Friday and on Monday the price has crashed. Mainly due to you did not educate yourself properly. So my friends, this is a bit of information that I'm now sharing. Why is that important? Because a lot of people are making plans for 2026 because they think, oh, Pokemon 30 years is coming up. One Piece is now booming. It is now the time to step into the market and I'm gonna make me some profit. Those millions will be walling in. Those millions will not be walling in because that's only for the lucky few that have deep pockets, but extremely deep pockets. I have now my TCG business for a year and a half and my sales are not even 1 million sales. I will make a video about that in January with a recap of 2025, how the business went and things like that. So if you are down for that, then you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. Yeah, I keep repeating that, but you guys just watch and don't subscribe. That's your problem. And also mine, because the algorithm doesn't like that. Subscribe to the channel, my friends. Come on. So there is a lot to think about, and I jumped into TCG without properly thinking about it, and I found my way left and right. But I'm a very technical person. I am very good in IT. I manage my own website and all that crap. So that makes it a bit more easier for me. But if you don't have that knowledge, you are going to make it very difficult for yourself. That's why I want to warn you. And if you ever have any questions, if you need any advice, if you have some interesting topics that you want me to make some videos about it, shoot me a message, drop a comment down below. I want to create more content like this because we had some struggles as well. We encountered some things. We started with too many TCGs and we need to rethink. We first said card market, screw that, and now we are selling on card market. So the visions behind it, sometimes you need to change, you need to follow the market, but you need to think. Use your head and think, and sometimes consult with someone else, because you might think, I know everything, I'm Einstein number 2. No, you're idiot number 2. Sometimes you need to just consult with someone else which has a bit of experience, perhaps with a store owner, a physical store in your neighborhood. Go have a chat, or you go to some events and you have a chat with other collectors, or perhaps people that are selling on card market. How are you doing? How are you doing shipping and things like that? All those things. Yeah, knowledge is key. Experience you will not have, but being informed upfront is very important. You have YouTube at your feet. You have Google search engines at your feet, and you have AI that you can ask questions, and that sometimes you can get a dumb response back in return. Don't ever trust AI blindly. Check the sources as well, because sometimes, oh man, yeah, if you follow that blindly, I would be dead as broke. But okay. That was the video. I hope you liked it. It is kind of like a different style of video, trying to bring some experience to the table. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also click that notification bell. And by the way, YouTube thinks you might like that video. I don't know. YouTube chooses that themselves. So check it out and let me know if YouTube was right, yes or no. And I'm out.